Good morning. Good morning to our friends on Facebook and good morning to our friends on Instagram. Welcome to Mindset Mastery Monday. It is Monday, the 3rd of September. Also, happy Father's Day for all the dads out there for yesterday, certainly here in Australia. Happy Guardian's Day if you're a guardian of some cherubs, or even if you are a single mum and you are doing both the parenting and, mothering and fathering. Hey, Catherine, good morning. Happy Father's Day to you. I hope you had a beautiful day, whatever you were doing, spending time with family. And even if you weren't, I just hope you had a beautiful Sunday. So I'm very excited about this episode. This is the art of authentic leadership. And this episode is going to be great for those who are watching, who are interested in significantly increasing the productivity and performance and profitability of your people and your business. If you're wanting to add more value to shareholders and stakeholders, if you're wanting to have long-term sustainable success, then this topic is going to be of keen interest to you. And authenticity is a word that's been thrown around recently as much as disruption. So I think it's really worthwhile exploring. I'd love to also start by saying hats off, and hats off, I think the saying goes, to the team at DEXA. Last week I spoke at their DEXA Leadership Convention. The theme was the authentic leader you, and I just think it's an incredible topic, especially for the real estate industry. Why? Because according to the CoreLogic research that have been done on the perceptions of buyers and vendors, there's two things they want from leaders and agents and the industry: trust and transparency. So if you as a leader want to increase your reach and connection and ability to serve your clients, your team need to be out there trustworthy and transparent. Good morning, Simon. I always call you Simone when I see your name. It's a trick. Morning, Simon. How are you? And those that are trustworthy and transparent will have greater connections and really deepen the ability to be able to serve, and they convert more listings. If you're not a trustworthy or a transparent leader, good luck trying to inspire your people. Nice. Yeah, nice that I got your name right. Again, Simon, I look forward to seeing you at 9 o'clock. Okay, so what is the art of authentic leadership, and what are the 5 elements to really leading authentically so you can inspire your people to rise and thrive and show up every day really committed to being of service, increasing productivity, performance and profitability? Well, I've done some research, and there's this great guy called Bill George, who's a Harvard Business School professor. He specialises in authentic leadership, and I'm going to share with you some of the characteristics that he has discovered really enable leaders to produce the greatest results. And why does this matter? Well, according to Trust and Transparency, there's this great quote that I love: you don't believe the message unless you believe the messenger. I'll say that one again. You don't believe the message unless you believe the messenger. Give me a thumbs up if you agree to that. How do you then believe a messenger? Have you ever worked with or for a leader that's sharing a vision or a mission, or is asking you to do something and it just isn't inspiring, or it doesn't land? I know I have. And consider it's because the leader is sharing a message, but you don't necessarily believe the messenger, meaning something's not congruent. Simon's giving me heaps of thumbs up. It's true. Hi, Tracy. Lovely to have your company too, my love. Have you ever worked with a leader like that? Have you ever noticed yourself like that? As a coach, I'm consciously always looking at, where am I not congruent? Where am I not being my word? Because that has zero integrity. So according to Bill George, this Harvard Business School professor who specializes in authentic leadership, he deconstructs the 2 models of leadership. The old model, according to Bill, has 3 key elements. Number 1, we really were attracted by charismatic leaders. So charisma was number 1. There was a sense of magnetism about them. Number 2 was image. We were also attracted to leaders that had a strong or a believable image. And number 3 was style. So charisma, image, and style. Now, I don't know about you, but those things to me seem very external and quite superficial. Would you agree? He says the new model of leadership, authentic leadership, is character over charisma, integrity over image, and substance over style. I love that. So authentic leadership is about your character. Who are you showing up as each and every day? Are you congruent with your word? And what is your word? And number two, integrity. Are you believable? Are you being what you say? Are you being what you preach about? And number three, substance. Is what you're talking about, is it compelling? Is it inspiring? Are you of service? And as I was doing a lot of research for this subject, there was a bit of controversy around authentic leadership. Many people are studying it. Many people are sharing. Good morning, Rita. Lovely to have your company. Many people were writing papers internationally, but many of those papers were being retracted because the data, love this. Oh, thanks, Catherine. Love that you're listening and participating. Many of these papers were retracted, and the key theme was this whole question of, if you could be an authentic leader in an inspiring, compelling, service-orientated way, but could you also be an authentic leader who was mean and malicious and an ass? And the truth is, yes, you look, Mother Teresa, Richard Branson, Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, all very inspirational leaders. And over here, Hitler, Osama bin Laden, and if you ask me, Trump. Now, effective leadership because they're able to rally thousands of people, but look at the end result of their message. Death and destruction. It didn't serve or evolve humanity at all, in my humble opinion. Yet these authentic leaders, they were authentically being of service. They stood for something greater than themselves. So you can, just as an awareness, you can authentically lead from a place of service or a place of power or misguided power and be effective. But at the end of the day, is it helping humanity fulfill their human potential? Is it helping lift economy and grow business and change lives? That's the kind of leadership I'm interested in. Give me a thumbs. I'm feeling a bit preacher this morning. Give me a thumbs up if that's the kind of leadership you're interested in. So according to Bill George and other research I've done, here is what constitutes a really authentic leader. And as I said, why does it matter? When you're authentic, people believe you, people trust you, people find you transparent. Thank you for the thumbs up. People want to serve and be part of the fulfillment of your message. So number one, the 5 elements of authentic leadership is integrity. You don't believe the message unless you believe the messenger. And to illustrate this even deeper, I want to share with you a really brief story of Buddha. There was a father, pretty nice considering it was Father's Day yesterday. So morning, Steph. Lovely to have your company. There was a father whose son was addicted to sugar, and no matter what the father said about his health and preserving his longevity and his happiness, the boy just wouldn't listen. And the father thought, I really want my son to quit, but he's just not listening to me. I'll take him to Buddha, and hopefully Buddha can share some words of enlightenment and inspire my son to quit. So the father and son left the village, tracked for days and nights up the mountain to speak with Buddha. They were in the queue, weathered all the different climates along the way, and they finally are in front of Buddha. And the father says, thank you, Buddha. It's an honor to be with you. I'm here because my son is addicted to sugar. I'm concerned about his health. I want him to quit. I've been asking him to quit and he won't. And so I need your help. Will you please tell my son to quit eating sugar? And Buddha looked peacefully, as you can imagine, at the father and the son, took a moment to contemplate, as Buddha would beautifully do, and said, come back in 2 weeks. And the father's like, okay, well, I wasn't there, I didn't see it, but so the story goes, right? So the father takes the son's hand, heads past the waiting crowd, back down the mountain, days and nights, back to the village, a little perplexed, kind of disappointed. His expectations weren't met, right? And but they waited the 2 weeks. He then takes the hand of his son. They leave the village just before the 2 weeks are up, trek days and nights up the mountain in the long queue, back in front of Buddha again. And Buddha is there looking as peaceful as ever. And the father says, Buddha, thank you. It's an honor to be in front of you again. My son and I were here 2 weeks ago, and I asked for your guidance and your help because my son is addicted to sugar, and I've been asking him to quit and he just won't quit, and I'm worried about his health and well-being. And Buddha said, yes. He said, well, you know, before I ask your son to quit sugar, I have to quit sugar myself. And to me, that just screams integrity. Because many of us as parents and leaders tell our kids or ask or guide or tell our teams to do something that we either haven't done ourselves, wouldn't do ourselves, or won't do ourselves. And that lacks integrity. So you don't believe the message unless you believe the messenger. Integrity means be your word. So that is the first element of authentic leadership. Are you being your word? Are you believable? Is your message congruent with your persona? And have you done what you're saying you want in your team to do, or would you be willing to do it yourself? Number 2, authentic leaders have a solid sense of self-awareness. They really, really understand who they are. They are in this ongoing inquiry and process of personal reflection and evaluation. They don't have delusions of grandeur. They know exactly who they are and who they aren't. Just giving a wave out to our friends on Insta. They know who they are and who they aren't. They own their shadow, meaning they own the aspects of themselves that many other leaders hide. See, we all have light and dark within us. We all have elements of inspiration and destruction, but the authentic leader is aware of their greatness and their shadow, and they own their shadow, and they work on themselves to transform it. What could a shadow be? Well, part of my shadow is, I'm, controlling. So, when we have people come to the house, I get in this crazy alter ego called Agatha who has to have the house perfect. That's just shadow. That's just ego wanting to look good. Good morning, Steph. Lovely to have your company. We're talking about the art of authentic leadership. That's just shadow. And how does that manifest? Well, if people are coming over, I become a stress head and I'm barking at my family to do things, and it's no fun. Right? Are you doing that as a leader? Are you barking at your people to produce a result? Now, I know this about myself. I called her Agatha, and I've given my kids and family permission to call me Fonzie. Ask me to be Fonzie when I'm becoming Agatha. So authentic leaders are aware of their greatness. They're also aware of their areas that they need to develop, and they're actively doing something about it to own their shadow and lead more from the heart. Number 3, authentic leaders have what's called relational transparency. This is critical, and I think this is a huge opportunity, especially in real estate. Relational transparency means you're really able to take on the opinions and views of others. Like you can have your own opinion, but you're also open to listening to the perspectives, views, and opinions of other people, and you're open-minded about it. You're able to have empathy and stand in their shoes and look at the world from their perspective. And you're able to also consider their point of view. This is critical. If you're going to inspire a team to fulfill a vision and a mission, you have to be able to cultivate different points of view, which is a very healthy thing. So they're very able to do that. So that's relational transparency. Great leaders know how to do that. Number 4. Authentic leaders have this sense, morning Paula, lovely to have your company, of self-discipline. They show up and do the work. Speaking of showing up and doing the work, Paula, I know you are practicing your savers, SAVERS, silence, affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading and scribing every day. And I saw your post last night that you were preparing your week this morning. So, last night. Well done. So authentic leaders have great self-discipline. They create habits. They show up and do the work. Morning, Priscilla. Lovely to have you here too. consistency is the key to progress, right? So I know myself, it's inauthentic for me to ask my clients to do stuff that I'm not doing in the background. That lacks authenticity, that lacks integrity. And integrity is the foundation of everything. It has, if a chair has 4 legs and one is missing and you sit on it, what's going to happen? You're going to fall. Because what has integrity is that chair's got 4 legs. So self-discipline, practicing what you preach, having habits and rituals and doing them builds this incredible foundation that creates this sense of congruency. So when you're leading, when you're speaking, when you're coaching, when you're guiding, there's a depth to what you're saying. There's a truth to your words, and it's palpable and people can see it, feel it, and believe it. And then number 5 is balanced processing. So this is where you are not, it's my way or the highway, where similar to relational transparency, where you can take on the opinions of others, a little more insight on relational transparency, which is number 3, you're very willing as an authentic leader to be open and vulnerable and able to take feedback from others. So take a look for yourself. What's it like for you when people give you feedback? Do you get defensive and annoyed, or are you open and do you see it of service? Just let me know. Just write defensive and annoyed, or open and keen to be of service, or a work in progress if you're somewhere in the middle. When we're in our ego, when we're addicted to having our power, I guess, out there in the world in an unhealthy way, we can be, we can get defensive. It's just, misguided energy. We really want to shift to this place of authenticity, which also includes the art of being open, vulnerable, real, raw, and courageous. It takes something to stand in a future that doesn't exist yet and ask your people to guide or lead or follow the fulfillment of the vision. And here's what I know about teams and leaders. Teams don't want a perfect leader. They want a real leader. Tell me if you agree. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you agree. Would you rather, Priscilla's a work in progress. Good on you. Simon's a work in progress too. Hey, me too. Amen. Yeah, we're always a work in progress. Just know you have a soul and you have an ego. The ego is just the wounded child. We all have one. And when we become vulnerable, when we're keen to just kind of open up and have people contribute to us, that's where we grow. But listen, I invite you a little caveat. Get advice from people that you respect and trust, that have walked the path before, not from people that have got misplaced egos themselves. So great to be, great to be a work in progress. This is really why I do this, so we can all be a beautiful, imperfectly perfect, consistent work in progress together. So self-awareness is about being open, vulnerable, open to feedback by people that you trust, and courageous enough to listen to it, courageous enough to dust yourself off when it hurts a little bit. It's great to surround yourself with people that will tell you the truth in service of your growth, and it's great to be courageous enough to ask for it. I've asked Simon from Smarter Marketing to give me feedback on marketing my events, marketing, myself and the work that we want to do, because we want to be of service. And I've said, be straight. I don't want fluff. And he is, and it's being of great service. So thank you, Simon. I really appreciate that. So balanced processing from an authentic leadership is you're open and vulnerable and take on feedback, but you stay true to your truth. You're able to take the opinions and points of view of your team. You have the capacity to then take yourself out of the picture and choose the content from yourself or your team, the collective, your tribe, that will be of the greatest service to the fulfillment of your future. What's going to be the greatest service to the fulfillment of your clients' needs? That is authentic leadership. They're not interested in the accolades and, oh, I did it, it was about me. They're interested around the best results to make a difference for their people. So once again, the 5 elements of authentic leadership and how you can inspire your people to rise and thrive, increase their productivity and performance, the value you deliver to stakeholders and shareholders, and the profitability of your business, which, by the way, your business performance is typically a financial reward of your energetic output. I'll say that again. The way your bank balance looks is typically the financial outcome of your energetic output. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. So what are the 5 elements? Integrity. You don't believe the message unless you believe the messenger. Are you congruent with your word? Are you believable? Number 2, self-awareness. Are you ongoingly looking at yourself and your personal reflections and your self-examination and your understanding of your strengths and opportunities to develop? And are you developing yourself? Are you developing relational transparency? Are you willing to be, number 3, relational transparency? Are you willing to be open and vulnerable? Are you willing to have your people give you feedback, and people that you trust, or a coach or mentor or a specialist give you feedback? 4, are you willing to practice self-discipline? Show up and do the work. Practice every day what it takes to shift from being a work in progress into a realized fulfillment of authentic leadership on a daily basis, inspiring your people to rise and thrive. And 5, do you have balanced processing? Are you able to take on the opinions of others? Are you able to put your agenda aside and really choose the insights and resources or tools or actions that's going to ultimately serve the fulfillment of your vision? And are you giving your credit to your team rather than chest beating and making it all about you? So that's, in a little bit of time, the art of authentic leadership summed up in 5 elements. Share with me, what was your favorite? Integrity, self-awareness, relational transparency, self-discipline, or balanced processing? Which one is the one that you even need to practice more? Do you need to practice being open and getting feedback? Do you need to practice self-discipline? Do you need to practice being your word and doing what you say you're going to do? Or do you need to practice taking on the opinions of others? I'd be really keen to know. So good morning, Romy. Thanks for joining. Good morning, Kiera. And Gupid, I don't know how to say that, but thanks for joining. I hope you found that useful. Please let me know if you did. Please also remember that I'm here to provide an A to your Q, typically around leadership and mindset, especially if you are in real estate. And next Monday's session, I'm going to answer a question that I received over the weekend, which was, I've lost 7 listings in a row. What do I do? So if you're in real estate, or if you're a leader of real estate, and you want to inspire your people to have a breakthrough when they're on a downward climb, they're on a decline, and they've lost numerous listings in a row, tune in for next week as I share what do you do when you lose a lot of listings or listing opportunities in a row. I wish you a magnificent Monday. Go and be open and vulnerable, courageous. Find people that you trust that can give you honest feedback, and practice the art of self-discipline, because consistency is the key to success. Much love. Have an amazing week, and look forward to having your company next Monday for Mindset Mastery Monday. Take care. And thanks for watching on Facebook.